Ladies in red. Ladies in red. Ladies in red. Discuss the latest news, just fans giving their views. This channel is red. They see the bar and raise it, plus they rep for the ladies. Trust it's red. Female voices in football. Red. If you want to talk up, it's a red channel for me and you. Subscribe and tune into the Ladies in Red.
Hi guys, welcome back to Ladies in Red. We're back with yet another show. I'm joined by the lovely Mais again. Mais, thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me on. I'm really well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Obviously, Premier League football is back this weekend, so I'm buzzing with that. Obviously, after an international break. And to be fair, the international break, I think for a United fan, probably was a bit of a break, a bit of a relief. But obviously, there's only so much international football you can take, especially when it's not tournament football. So yeah, I'm glad that it's back. Obviously, Watford this weekend, and we'll give a little prediction for that one. Been a lot of talk about Donny today. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about Donny for months and months, let's be honest. But today in particular, Ole apparently has said that in training he's impressed by him and he's definitely considering him for a starting spot against Watford. Firstly, Mace, what's your thoughts on these rumours that are coming out regarding him and his training? And also, can you see him making a start against Watford?
I've actually read reports as well about Luke Shaw saying that he's very well in terms of his training. He's always put his 100% all in terms of his training, and he does deserve that start. So even Luke Shaw is saying that as well. And you do question if what is going on. Has he only just started to pick up this training? Because surely he would have always done this kind of training.
Yeah.
But why did it only took out over a season for him to be impressed with him? And you've got players who are on the pitch who isn't performing how they should be. I think more why Donny may, if he does start, the reason why he could potentially be starting is more because of him being under pressure. And you see a lot of people saying that they want Donny to start. And you see all these rumours like free Donny trending on Twitter, and everyone's comparing the Donny and Ole situation to the Pogba and Jose situation as well. So I think that's putting a lot more pressure onto Ole to start Donny. So I think he may potentially will start him alongside Matic, because I remember him playing in pre-season against Everton and they did work really well. So I can't see why they wouldn't work well against Watford. And plus Watford, you can take them a little bit more of a risk as well in the midfield or up front. You can rest them a couple of players if needed, but knowing it's come back off international break, there should be no reason why we can't go all in for it.
Yeah, I agree. And like you say, Watford not having the best of seasons realistically. Obviously, they're always a team that can cause a problem, but these are the games that we should be not relaxing a bit more on, but we shouldn't be so defensive against Watford. Should be like this should be a team that we should go at. We should attack, score plenty of goals. But we know what Ole in the past has gone for that defensive, that McFred, because it's his trusted combination. And why it is, I do not know. But we know that we've been screaming out for Donny starts in the past, and it just hasn't happened. And I'm like you. What's different this time around? Then is it because he's got this pressure on his shoulders now? Is it because the fans and everybody's screaming, why isn't Donny playing? Is it because he's got this conundrum where Donny, if it doesn't start playing, he's leaving in January as well? Pay good money for him. I do think it's that build up of pressure, and I think it's getting to the point now. Like he can't not try him. Surely, like we've said it before, we keep trying the same old thing, playing the same old players, we're making the same old mistakes. Why not do something different? We've got players like Sancho, Donny. Obviously, Varane's injured, that's a different one. But why not bring some of these fresh faces in? Players who've got a point to prove as well, and players who could be the difference for us, mate.
Exactly. And when you know something's not working, you need to keep tweaking it until you know it does work. And you can see that he did tweak it in terms of the formation, because he did change it to 3 at the back and then playing 2 wing backs. But it was still playing the same old team. You're still playing Shaw, who's not been at his best. You're still playing Maguire, who's not been at his best. Still playing McFred. So it wasn't exactly anything what's really changed. If you do look at it, all they've done is a change in formation. And who's to say if they didn't go back to that 4-2-3-1 and then they played Donny and Matic and then you maybe put Sancho on the right instead of these rumours as him playing as a right wing back, which I really do not want to see, then why wouldn't that work neither?
Yeah, you're right. And I think obviously if we go with that system against Watford, a lot of people are slated because you'd say that is, I mean, Shivan said it there. If you go with 5 at the back, I know it's a 3 and the 2 wing backs, but it's 5 at the back, isn't it? Like you can't do that. And then McFred in front of that as well against Watford, like that would be embarrassing for your Manchester United team to line up against Watford like that. So please no. But I agree with you. I think this game is a game where Donny could come in and have an impact on it. It's a game where you think we probably have majority of the ball and we need to keep it and obviously look for those intricate passes because Watford will sit in and try and pounce on us like most teams do. Donny's one of these players who can find those little pockets. He can play between the lines. I just want to see more of him. I'm hoping that he does get him running games. Don't get me wrong. I think the fact that Ollie's all of a sudden changing his mind now is down to the pressure that he's got, and it shouldn't be that way. Because we've been screaming for however long now. McFred isn't working. Why not try Donny? But I'm not going to complain. Obviously, if he does play because I just want to see more of him. And I think this is the perfect kind of game. Obviously, not being in the Carabao Cup as well, I don't think that's helped with Donny, because I think that's the games where Ollie would have probably rotated. So being knocked out, obviously, in that competition. So it's games like this now I think we need to make use of and rotate our squad. But there's been talks today as well, obviously, regarding managers and whatnot. Every day we know what it's like. We're linked to a different manager. Today's Brendan Rodgers. Obviously, he was asked in his press conference regarding Manchester United. He said he doesn't want to talk about it. It's disrespectful for one, a great man and a great manager. I think he said good, actually, not great. He's talking about Ollie there, saying it's disrespectful. And to be honest, a lot of people are making a big deal out of it. But, Mais, I'll be honest, I don't know what people were expecting Rodgers to say to a question like that. Like, he's still working for Leicester. He's obviously not going to come out and say, yeah, I'm going to Manchester United in a press conference like that. I don't know what people expected. He's still under contract at the end of the day, as so is Ollie. Do you read into that too much? And how do you feel about Rodgers? Like, would you take him as manager with his ex-Liverpool links as well?
To be honest, you can't. When you're a manager and you know at that moment in time you are committed to a certain club, like Brendan Rodgers is committed to Leicester, and knowing that he's had success with Leicester literally a couple of months ago, it would be a bit disrespectful for him to come out and go, "Oh yeah, these rumours are true. I'm going to Manchester United at the end of the season." Because imagine the absolute riot of the Leicester fans. They really would not like it at all. I'm sure, and the owners as well at Leicester seem a very decent owners too, so I can't imagine even them putting up with it neither, to be fairly honest. And they'd probably go, right, if you don't want to be here at this club, we won't want you here. I think that's what the kind of board that they'd be like as well, because
any fans would be like that.
You'd have that break of trust, but you can't exactly say, oh, I'm like, you're gonna come to the club. It's just not right. If it's going to be the case, it should be once something has been spoken about to Manchester United, or when it comes to the end of the season and Ollie has gone. Because it's disrespect. I think it's disrespectful both on Brendan Rodgers to have these questions knowing that he is committed to Leicester at this moment in time. And it's even disrespectful to Ollie under a certain degree because he is still Manchester United manager. And I just think, I know all these people are saying, I want Ten Hag, I want Zidane, I want Brendan Rodgers, I want Poch. I understand that everyone wants a different manager, but whilst Ole Gunnar Solskjær is the manager, there's no point in going on saying, asking different managers, oh, are you coming to Manchester United? It doesn't make no sense. It's just not right to do that. I think it's disrespectful for both managers. If you was going to look at Brendan Rodgers in itself, would I have him at the club? There'd be people who I would have before Brendan Rodgers, if you want me to be fairly honest. It's not just the fact that he was an ex-Liverpool manager. It's more to the point that, one, he hasn't had that Premier League success where he's actually won the league. Because at Manchester United, you want to have a little bit more expectation. You want a manager who has actually won leagues, who has been far in European success. And Brendan Rodgers has got neither. He has Premier League experience. Don't get me wrong, he does. And he's managed a big club like Liverpool. And he manages Leicester, who are growing into a big team at this moment in time. But I just don't think Manchester United is the right one for him. I think he, like I say, he's not won the Premier League for one. He's not got far into the Champions League, Europa League.
He's won an FA Cup, hasn't he? He's won an FA Cup for Leicester. That's what he's won.
An FA Cup, that's all. FA Cup for Leicester, yeah, fair enough. He's won that, but you want to look at a manager and you want to raise that bar a little bit more, and you can see why people would want Ten Hag, knowing that he's won several trophies at the club. I think he's won overall like 5 or 6 trophies at Ajax.
Yeah.
And people look at Zidane, he's won 3 Champions Leagues at Real Madrid, not including La Liga. People obviously, I don't know why people look at Poch, if you want me to be fairly honest, because I wouldn't have Poch, but you can see why you look at Zidane and Ten Hag as 2 different options. So I'm not too sure why people look at Rodgers, apart from knowing that he's got Premier League experience.
I think Rodgers is a very good manager. I do think he's a very good manager. I think his recruitment at Leicester has been outstanding. Liverpool, they played outstanding football. I think tactically he's a very good manager. However, with his Liverpool links and my emotional side, I think I struggle with that. But look, I've always said this: whoever is in charge of United, I will support, and if it was Brendan Rodgers, I'd obviously back him. But I don't know how I feel about the Liverpool links, but I think as a manager, I think he's a very good manager. You are right; he hasn't won the league and whatnot, but he has won an FA Cup, which is more than what we've won under Ole. Tactically,
That's
like
true.
I do think he shows, especially in big games, I think he shows his prowess as Leicester manager, and the recruitment has been outstanding. But would he be my ideal choice? No, he wouldn't. It would not be my ideal choice. Ten Hag, you mentioned there, would definitely be one for me. A lot of people saying Zidane as well. Look, at the moment, Ole's is still in charge. And for me, the ideal situation is, and I know it looks very unlikely, but Ole turns this around. How? I do not know, but that's my ideal situation. And if he doesn't, for me, Ten Hag would be the one that I'd want to see coming through the door. Not also there, he bottled the league for Liverpool. If Gerrard didn't do that slip, he won the treble and quadruple at Celtic in the FA Cup. Obviously, he did have his time out in Scotland as well. I'm not being disrespectful to Scottish leagues when I'm not mentioning that. I'm just focusing on obviously what he's done at Leicester and Liverpool in terms of Premier League experience. I've seen a few people Starlord there. Decimus, and I know Niall commented earlier as well, bigging up my goal, thank you. I was well played. I'll be honest, it's not very often that I score, so to score a goal like that, I'm glad it was on camera as well. Because if I'd have said that to anybody that I scored a goal like that, nobody would have believed me, because I'm just not that kind of player. So the fact that I did, yeah, I'm glad I could prove it. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Shane, for that. Please do make sure you hit that like button, guys, and subscribe as well. And obviously make sure you go and check out Mais' channel as well, which we will shout out, and I'll put the link in the description as well. But Mais, give a quick shout out. What's your channel called?
My YouTube channel is called Devils United.
So make sure you go and subscribe to Mais' channel as well. Imagine a group of Phil winning the league with Rodgers, putting the middle finger up to the Scousers. That is the other side of it. To be fair, he didn't manage it with Liverpool. If he didn't manage it with United, that would be a good comeback, to be fair. I never really thought it would be that way around.
It'd be really funny, but I just really can't see it with Brendan Rodgers. So, like I say, he's a good manager, but knowing that, I think Leicester last season, they actually was in the top 4 for the highest amount of days compared to us, Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea. So I think they was in it for like 200 odd days, but they managed to bottle the top 4 in the last game of the season. How could you do that knowing how long you was in the top 4 for?
It's happened. You know what? At the minute, you know the way we are. I don't feel like I can banter anybody about positions and bottling it at the minute, because obviously at the start of the season when we saw Ronaldo, everyone's like, "Oh, we're going to win the league," and now look at us. We're bantering Arsenal, and now look at us. We're below them. So I'm just keeping quiet for a bit until we go on this run, which I'm sure we will at some point, whether it's under Ole or a new manager. I'm sure we'll go on a bench with the personnel that we've got in our squad. Surely we have to, and I'm hoping it starts this weekend against Watford. A lot of people saying they wouldn't touch Brendan Rodgers, obviously because they're Liverpool links, and like I said, that emotional side is hard, isn't it, to try and bypass that. Yeah, Aikman, no worries at all. So sorry, Soph, I missed your ECL stream. Hopefully I will catch up next time. Hopefully you do. It was a good one, to be fair. It was a good one. 2 wins and a draw, so not too bad. I will be doing another one next week, so guys, keep your eyes peeled for that one as well. Do you play FIFA at all, mate?
Yeah, I do play FIFA. I've got it on Xbox, actually. I actually bought the FIFA 22 a couple of weeks ago. I'm really enjoying it. I'm on the career mode at the moment, and I've got a couple of players in.
United?
Yeah, Man United is the only one I will go for. I brought in a couple of players. Who did I bring in? I brought in... I kept Ronaldo and Cavani. I thought I'd try a 4-4-2. And I'm really enjoying doing the 4-4-2 because I can still play Sancho there as well if it's needed. There was a couple of players who I did buy. I'm trying to think who. I bought Kessie for one, which I thought outstanding. I'm just so happy about it. And I bought in a couple of youth players as well. There was one from Bayern Munich who I got. He's called Jamal. He's really, really good. And he was actually linked to going into England. He had a choice out of England and Germany, and he chose Germany for international football.
Yeah, no, so I'll have to check him out then on my career mode. I'm currently doing mine as well. Leicester would have had top 4. They had injuries, and they did have a lot of injuries, to be fair. They did have a lot of injuries. Yes. Harvey Barnes obviously was flying. Madison was having a very good season, and they got injured. I'm pretty sure Vardy was out for a little bit as well. But Ian Nacho, luckily, I think, piped up with a few goals. But you are right, they did have a lot of injuries, and obviously they've got a fairly small squad, Leicester, as well. But yeah, like I do think he's a very good manager, and I think tactically you can't deny he's better than Ole. I'm not denying that at all. For me, it's literally just boils down to the fact that he's got Liverpool links. I'm just too emotional when it comes to it. I just don't know how I'd feel about having an ex-Liverpool manager in charge of United. It just sounds wrong. Like, it feels wrong to say. Do you know what I mean? That's literally the only thing for me in terms of his ability as a manager. I think he's very, very good. But yeah, it looks like Ole obviously is in charge. Well, it looks like he definitely is in charge for the Watford game. How do you feel regarding that? Obviously, he's been given another lifeline. Again, a lot of people are complaining that, yes, another lifeline. Do you think he can turn this around? And do you think if he doesn't get the win at Watford on the weekend, is that it? Or do you genuinely believe it doesn't matter? He's still got until the end of the season.
He's genuinely on very, very thin ice. I was reading the reports today that apparently the board do want to sack Ole now. And the only thing that's stopping them from sacking Ole is the fact they need to find a replacement. But if them rumours were actually true, you've had from the Man City game all the way through international break to Watford, which is in 2 days' time, to sack Ole and to find a replacement. So in terms of that, I don't know whether that's 100% true, because I even seen rumours the other day saying that the board is going to keep Ole until the end of the season unless there's zero chance of us being in the top four. And that's the thing what is really, really annoying, the fact that it's the top four what matters to the board. And that shouldn't be the case, because when you've got brought in signings like Varane, Sancho, Ronaldo, you don't want to just go for top four. I've even said from the beginning, don't get me wrong, I've even said on plenty of streams in the past that there is teams like Manchester City who is currently a bit ahead of us, and I wouldn't have expected us to win the league this season, but I'm expecting a lot better than what we did last season. I was expecting us to take the Champions League. I was expecting us to have a close gap between first and second, if that was by 3 points or something. Like, just by a win or 2 wins or something. You expect that, knowing that the kind of squad we've got and how much we've strengthened. But at the fact that we've just gone into that downward spiral and then nothing's getting done about it, we change the formation, it doesn't work. You just think, what much more can you really truly do at this point?
And it's not going to be magic overnight. That's like, you know what I mean? But
I understand that the club is showing the respect to Ole, knowing that he is a player legend. Just like this comment here, he does respect. He needs respect from our fan base, because you've seen a lot of people writing such disrespectful comments.
I've seen people saying he's no longer a legend.
Yes, he is a legend. He is a legend in my eyes. And if there was to go and sack Ole, that's fair enough. But they shouldn't just expect top four either. They should be expecting a lot more than top four. And this is what just annoys me the most, that it just feels like at this moment in time, there's just a lack of ambition at Manchester United. Because I think if, for example, we invested into our transfer window like last season and the season before compared to this season, because we did, but we didn't get a CDM, I think we could have been in a much better spot as well.
Yeah, not getting that CDM is obviously costing us, definitely. But I agree there. Never have we sat on this channel and disrespected him. We've sat here and we've criticised, and we've done it respectfully regarding his performance as Manchester United manager. But there's some people there putting personal abuse at their personal hate. I'm never going to support that. I'm never going to condone it, regardless of who he is. Because for me, you're focusing on his performance as manager, and he'll hold his hand up and say he's not being good enough. He's not stupid. Do you know what I mean? But I agree. He's still a legend in my eyes, and he will forever be a legend in my eyes. And he only wants what's best for the club. It's just a matter of his ceiling now, and he obviously is looking that way. But as I've already mentioned, it looks unlikely. But my ideal scenario is that he can turn it around. How? I do not know, but that's my ideal scenario. Big up to Curly, says late, but here, if Donny's saying play me or I leave, he's basically leaving already, is what he's saying there. What's your thoughts on if Donny has come out and said that? Would you think he's well within his right to say that?
If you do look, I've always been a bit critical when a player does say, if you don't play me, then I'm leaving, or if they say something like, I want to come to this club and I'm not going to play, or I'm not going to train until that. I completely disagree with that. No matter how little you do play, you need to show respect to your manager and you need to show respect to the club. I wasn't happy with how Harry Kane went about things at Tottenham, how he was. So I'm not going to sit back just because Donny isn't playing to say what if he has come out and said that is right, because I don't think it's right. Yes, he deserves more game time, but under the same breath, he still needs to respect the manager and he still needs to respect the club. And if he come out and said these kind of comments, I don't agree with it at all.
I mean, it strikes me as being very professional, Donny. Obviously, for one little outburst in me, that little like puff of the cheeks when it was on the side, whatever you want to call it. We haven't really seen him have a full outburst. I do think he's a very professional individual. But at the same time, I can understand his frustration. I can understand him feeling that way, that if I'm not playing, I want to get back into that Holland squad for the World Cup and whatnot. He's not going to do it at United in the way that it's going. So I kind of agree with that. Also, it's not been working from Ole's point of view. So for me, I'd be looking who have I got who can maybe switch it up, who can maybe give us something different. And I think Donny is that guy as well. So I'm just hoping that there is a realisation Donny can get a run of games and prove it to us, prove it to everybody that he is good enough to play. Because obviously we're saying Donny play off the back of his Ajax performances, and let's be honest, brief glimpses in a United shirt. But I'm not knocking Donny down for that. It's impossible. If you're not getting regular game time, not getting a run of games, how are you going to find that confidence and that consistency of performance? So I really feel for him. It's almost like he's been given an unfair chance. Hopefully now, with Pogba being out and whatnot as well, he can get a run of games and he can prove to people why there is such a big fuss about him not playing, because he's desperate to break into. He's at that age now, isn't he, Mace, where he needs to be playing internationally.
Yeah, of course. He's roughly around 23, 24 now. And when you're at that age, you do need to have that run of game time. He's getting close to his prime, knowing that where he was at Ajax, and he was shortlisted into so many for Ballon d'Or. It is a bit of that not for him, knowing that he was at that point at Ajax, and then he's come to Manchester United and he's not getting that game time whatsoever. So I completely understand these concerns, but you can't publicly come out and say none of these things neither. You need to just stay as professional as possible, because you need to look in this respect with Pogba and his agent, for instance, and you get all these concerns with what Pogba's agent's saying, like Pogba wants to leave Manchester United and stuff, and Pogba's not happy. A lot of people are uproaring about it. So I can't see what the difference is between the pair of them, because they're still voicing concerns that they're not happy with the club. So the pair of them should be just as criticised as each other for having these voicing these concerns. Because whilst you're still a Manchester United player, you should have respect for the club, in my opinion.
You're right. But to be fair, he hasn't publicly, we haven't heard it from Ole's,
yes, I haven't heard it.
Donny's lips. It's all rumours, it's all reports. I'm just saying, if he does feel that way, I can totally understand it.
Yeah,
but I imagine him to be a very professional player. He hasn't shown anything but professionalism in his time since being at United. He's had that little puff of the cheeks, but any player would be frustrated in that situation, to be fair.
Yeah, of course. I can definitely understand that. And plus as well, if we haven't heard it, you do know it's lies, but when you do hear it in other cases and you actually hear it coming out from the person's agent, or you're hearing it from the actual person itself, then it's completely different. But when you're seeing reporters are coming out and saying that, you need to take it with a pinch of salt until you actually hear it itself.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of talks about how Harry Kane acted in the summer. That was just mad, and the fact that there wasn't that much people talking about it as well. Yeah, it's just horrible. It's horrible, isn't it, to see so much hypocrisy, you know what I mean, in the press and in the media. Obviously, he didn't turn up to training. He went AWOL for a bit. If that was Pogba, we all know it would be a different story, and I completely agree with that. Harry Kane, obviously, great international break for him. Two hat-tricks. But let's be honest, against the teams that we were playing against, I don't think we read into that too much, and a few penalties in there as well. But what did you make of the international break for England? And I just want to say as well, Zio is going to jump in. I've just sent him a link, so Zio will be popping up at some point. So yeah, keep an eye out for Zio. But yeah, what did you think of England's international break? And obviously we've qualified for the World Cup now as well.
Yeah, I think we did play really well. I think when you do play them games, like obviously Albania and San Marino, you are expecting them results from England, because if you didn't get them results, you would question highly, we've got a squad here. When you look at this squad at England, I say this is the best squad we've had in such a long time. The young talent we've got is absolutely unbelievable. And then when you're looking at the unders as well, the absolute talent you've got there who's due to come into the England first team, you do look at that and think, wow, this is going to be bright for England. So if you see a loss or a draw, you do nothing but question that, thinking these are games where you should be winning. And I think it's very well the goal difference that we did do. There was obviously such a high goal difference with both. There was 5 against Albania. I think it was about 8, was it, for San Marino? So absolutely very, very good.
Big up to Zio. Zio is in the chat. Zio, how are you? You good?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Good. I'm good, thank you. Good to have you back on. Bigging up the hoodie as well, you see in the background. This is a Zio Raw hoodie. Go and check out his merch. Sick, I love it. So yeah, thank you for the hoodie. I appreciate it. Zio, we're just discussing after the England games. Crazy.
I didn't
scores,
watch any of that rubbish. You
know what? Fair enough. Fair play to you. Do not blame you. But we've qualified for the World Cup. Maisie was just saying the squad that we've got now for England is probably the best one that we've had for a long, long time. Would you agree with that?
I feel like it's the most exciting we've had for a long time. I feel like a team that had Rooney, and I feel like could have been a better team, but it wasn't as exciting. So
Yeah.
I guess if you class exciting and better together, then I would agree, yeah, because it does feel like we have the biggest chance of winning these type of competitions now. But I still don't feel like it was a better team than the one that used to have Rooney and Gerrard in.
Yeah.
So it's a
What's your
weird
thoughts on
feeling.
that? I'm going to ask you both this one, the Maguire celebration. If you haven't seen it, the games yet, but did you see his celebration? Little knee slide with it, hands in the ears like this, like Memphis. I don't know what we thought he was doing here, but yeah. Mais, I'll start with you on that. What's your thoughts on his little celebration? Like, did you read into that too much, or do you think it's what it is? Like, don't really take too much into that.
I think he was probably trying to do it just to show, oh, hello haters, I can score, I can do well against Albania. But yeah, you scored against Albania, you scored against San Marino. We didn't do that celebration against San Marino because I think he did notice the amount of criticism. He just ran. But I think knowing that he is scoring now for England, I think that hopefully will boost his confidence up because he is on level, or he's just a bit higher now than John Terry, who was the highest scoring defender for England. So if hopefully he'll take this away back to England, then he'll pick up his form. If he doesn't pick up his form, then you do need to question that as well, because if you're seeing good for England, but you're not seeing good for Manchester United, you think, well, why is that? Why can you do form for Manchester United for England, but you can't for Manchester United? So he needs to now show that he knows what he's capable of. We know what he's capable of, so he needs to go and show this now on the pitch for club football too.
Yeah, because he's slabhead for England, obviously always getting those headers, but it's 50-pence head for United. He just never seems to connect with them properly. They're just going off in all directions. I don't know what changes.
Oh, he's off target.
But he gets there and he just can't direct it. But for England, he's just proper accurate. He's not the highest scoring defender now for England or something. It's just mad. And look, the opposition, of course, you have to take that into account. But Zio, do you hope now, like May said, that these goals can boost his confidence a little bit? Because since his injury, a lot of people saying he got rushed back too soon. Is it hangover from the Euros? But he just hasn't been at it, has he?
So our hope is not going to change the actual fact that it's not going to do damn frig nothing. This guy's going to come back to Man United and be pants. I just think it's like everyone that plays international. It's like, oh, look what they're doing for international. Why can't they do that for Man United? Pogba. I just feel like, I don't know if it's tactics. Maybe England's tactics are better. I don't know, but I just feel like it's all the same thing. Why are you playing good for the world in internationally, and you're not playing good for your club? And I think it's something to do with our club. And as for him doing that celebration, I just think, like, people, I remember someone said to me, the internet has made it makes it feel like everybody's in the same room. And I think Maguire just didn't read the room. Like he
definitely didn't read the room.
Didn't read it. I don't think he knew how angry everybody actually was. So that was just like a wind up for me. I was just like, are you an idiot? Like, what are you trying to prove? You scored a goal for England. That's not my club. Like, I support England, but that's not my, like.
Yeah, you want to see week in, week
really
out.
Weird. Yeah, I want to see head on target, bro. Like, make the keeper save it for us. Like, you celebrating scoring for England, you can't even head on target for us. Like,
if anyone watches my ECL streams, that's like my heading's like on FIFA. Like on FIFA, I can't direct headers. It's like that's what Harry Maguire's like. Like I say, he gets there, and it's like 1 in 10 will go on target. But other than that, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. And that's like Maguire. It's like he's pressing too much on the analog or something. Just the direction.
He's got time finishing on. He's got time finishing on.
Yeah,
he's pressing it at the wrong time.
It's just like clicking. But I agree with you. I think obviously Harry Maguire isn't our sole problem. Let's be honest. He's not our sole problem. He's not been playing well. Neither has Luke Shaw, to be fair. But many players haven't been performing. It's not our sole problem. But being captain, the price that he came in at, celebrating like that as well is going to give you more attention as well. He has come out to claim that he's being bullied. Obviously, there's a lot of criticism. You Manchester United manager, and you mentioned it there. Like, football fans, it's on the internet. All of a sudden, everyone's an expert. Everyone's a manager. Everyone knows better than Ole. Everyone knows better than Maguire. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a toxic place to be. We know that.
I mean, you know that.
You know that.
Who's he doing it to? Because in my eyes, he's doing it to Man United fans. Yeah, in my eyes, he's doing it to me. So why is he doing that to Man United fans?
Yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah, especially, if he was playing well and he didn't deserve the criticism, then I could get it, because you're like, it's unjust, it's unwarranted. He hasn't been playing well. And that's like, for me, as Manchester United manager, you're going to get criticism. Manager and players, to be fair. As captain, you're going to get criticism, and the price that he came in at as well. Like, you can't expect not to have that.
And then the thing is, they're all quick to go online and say, we know we ain't playing well, we know it's not good enough. And then in the same breath, you want to tell us to stop talking. Like, what? Do you get that?
Yeah,
we're not playing well, but everybody shut up. Like,
yeah. Do you think though? Look, so that's our captain we're talking about here, and I'm hoping that, like May said, he goes on and I was buzzing for Harry to score. I was buzzing. I'm always buzzing when a United player scores. Do you know what I mean? And especially a player who hasn't been playing well. I was hoping that this will change his fortunes a little bit. But do you think, like, his performances for Manchester United, is that down to the club? Is it down to the manager? Or is it just like one of them things where maybe he was rushed back a bit too soon, he's just not playing too well? Because a lot of people are thinking, like, oh, he's done. Like, play Lindelof, do you know what I mean, over him. And obviously when Varane's playing, or play Boye over him. Or do you think, like, as a manager, Ollie's trying to, like, persist with him and almost play him through that bad form? Do you know what I mean? Because he's captain. Like, if you're Ollie, realistically, he's not going to be dropped, is he? Regardless, for me, like, he's skipper, he's not going to be dropped. But a lot of people are saying, like, that mentality of, oh, you can't criticise me and whatnot, that's coming from the captain. We've said it for a long, long time now. Mentality at United just doesn't seem right. Post Fergie, the mentality just seems off. That winning mentality, we just haven't got it back. We're not winning, so obviously we're lacking that as well. But that's our captain there, like saying he's being bullied when he's being criticised, like say when his performances have been bad. I mean, Mais, do you think that probably is like symbolic of what the mentality is like?
When you do look at it, yeah. When you do look at it, you do think, yeah. When you're on social media, I can imagine football of 20 years ago is completely different to now. It's a whole different kind of aspect how the game is played, and social media is now coming involved. So you do know when you are on social media, there is going to be them comments or two. And this is where Harry Maguire, he does need to try and block these comments out. If he's getting these comments of, like, if that's bullying comments, abusive comments, they're them kind of comments where he needs to get them blocked out. Because regardless, you do always, I know it's horrible to see, but you do always see at least one comment on a celebrity's profile, which is always going to be a negative comment. But what he needs to do, he can't aggravate the haters more by doing that kind of celebration. Because if he does do that celebration, people are like, mate, what are you doing? Like, you played rubbish for us, but now you come to England, you want to score a goal, and then you tell me to shut up. No, I won't shut up.
You're right. It just draws more attention. Because, like Dio said there, I don't think he realised how angry a lot of people were. So him doing that has sparked up even more anger. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if he just scored, celebrated normally, I think most United fans would feel the same. That, you know what, we're happy Harry Maguire scored. We hope that it changes his form. But when he did that, it's almost like he's sticking his fingers up at the United fans. That's how it felt. Do you know what I mean? But you are right. It's a toxic place, especially on, like, social media. Like I say, all football fans think they know best, and it's a horrible place. But I think as a professional, you've just got to try and block that out, as you mentioned, Mais, and you just can't rise to it. Because it does show a bit of a weak mentality, to be fair. But it's just we signed Varane, arguably one of the best centre backs in the world. After a few games with us, we asked questions of him. You could bring in Maradona, Pele, Ferdinand into this team, and they would underperform. I don't know if I'd say Varane's underperformed. I think he's been our best defender, to be fair. But injuries have been his biggest issue. I think Varane's coming in, and when he's in the team, we look much, much better when he's in there. And I also think, to be fair, Maguire looked a lot better with him in there as well. I think he's a big loss for us, and obviously he's back in training, which is a good thing. But I'll start with you, Zio, on this one. Do you believe in that? Like, no matter who we get in with Ollie as manager, they're going to be dead anyway?
I think so now, because obviously I'm Ollie out. I won't sit on the fence. I'm Ollie out. I think when at the start of the season, you saw how excited I was. I was happy to do the song about Man United. I was just on cloud 9. I was looking at it. I said to you, I think I said to you, we're going to win the league or the Champions League. I was just on cloud 9. And then as soon as, like, I saw the tactics and how we were playing, I was just thinking, I don't understand how we've got these quality players and we played in this way. And I knew, I said, if we don't get the CDM, I'm still going to be worried, but we still should do well with what we've got. I'm not expecting to kill everyone and win the league, win the chat, everything. But I still said we should still compete, and we're way off it. We're worse than Arsenal. That, oh my God, I said it.
I'm thinking back to your rap that you did, and all you did was slate Arsenal.
Arsenal, because I hate Arsenal. I hate them. But now look.
History FC. That's all I'm hearing is Thierry Henry to my head now. I can hear it. Yeah, we can't even banter them anymore. That's how bad it's got, how it's changed. This mid-season review track is going to be a good one. It's going to be a totally different vibe to that one that we started with. Because you are right, and I mentioned it earlier, mate. So when we got Ronaldo and everyone's talking about we're going to win the league, and now This is talking about a scrap to get top 4. Scrapping with teams like Arsenal, the teams that we were bantering. Do you know what I mean?
And everyone's cussing Ronaldo now. Well, not everyone, but you get what I mean. Like, loads of people are now cussing Ronaldo. That's how quickly it just switched. Like, it's Ali and the coaches for me. Obviously, it's deeper than that because it's the Glazers. It's deeper than that because it's the Glazers. But right now, Ali can't hand. Ali is. Forget it.
You can't even get the words out. That's how much this football team's got to me. Literally can't even formulate a sentence to sum up how he's feeling right now about it. But what do you think, Mais? Do you believe in that? Do you think that, frankly, we need someone else now to come and take over the reins to take us to that next level? And no matter who we bring in, it's not going to improve things in terms of players?
I think no matter who we do bring in, there's going to be a hard problem for any manager we get with this board. It is always going to be a challenge, and this is where you do look at that in a deeper level and say we do need the Glazers out in that respect, because no matter who we get, the board is going to be awful. We're not going to always get the thing we need. They're not always going to not be ambitious or wanting us to win the league. They just care about that top 4 position. This is what it is at Manchester United, and Manchester United is about winning. And this is, and when you have a board who come out and says, "Oh, it doesn't matter where you go, as long as you're in the top 4, that doesn't matter," and then that just makes the manager, the coaches, the players think, "Oh, it doesn't matter then how I perform on the pitch. As long as I make sure I'm in the top 4 by the end of the season, that doesn't matter. We'll lose 5-0 against Liverpool. We'll lose 2-0 against Manchester City. But then when it comes to the end of the season, as long as we're in the top 4, that doesn't matter. That's absolutely fine." But that shouldn't be the case. Every single game, you need to come in and go, "We're winning this game, no matter what." And that's the mentality Manchester United should be. We should have that mentality of, we're winning the Champions League, we're winning the Champions League, we're winning the Premier League. That is the kind of expectation you have of Manchester United. You have that winning expectation, and especially with the players who we've got now. And if the board want to back Ole, that's absolutely fine. Back Ole. But if Ole wants to stay at where he is, he needs to sort this out. He needs to sort out who he wants to play, and he needs to make sure he plays the right players. He needs to sort out the coaching staff 1,000%, because I do think the coaching staff is absolutely awful, knowing that half of them have coached relegation teams. They've had the team relegated. They've had no experience apart from that. They've had under-18s experience. Under-18 football and first team Manchester United football isn't the exact same. Relegation football and Manchester United is not the exact same. You want world-class coaches as well as with a manager. You do want a manager who does good, but you want world-class coaches as well. You want brilliant coaches, because if you have brilliant coaches, then the manager, it will be a much better manager. They can guide him, saying, "No, don't start Fred. Start Donny instead of Matic. Donny and Matic instead. They've done absolutely brilliant training this week. They deserve their lineup." But I just think the coaching staff doesn't have that voice to say to Ole, "Oh, these have done brilliant in training this week. Start these instead." I just think they're just the yes man to Ole, and then Ole's not in that kind of nature to criticize the board and to go to the board and say, "I'm not happy with this." So he's more of that quiet kind of person as well. And when the whole team is quiet, it's not a good look.
Yeah, no, you are right. And I think from the sidelines as well, a lot of people want to see Ole just gritting players and going in there. You don't see that very often as well. And in terms of coaching staff, there's no experience there. And I think with most teams, someone mentioned there, Arsenal, they've got a clear way of playing. They've got a clear system and whatnot.
Yeah, block that person.
Comes from the coaching. He's right though. He's right though. City, a clear way of playing, a clear system. Do you know what I mean? Whereas with us, even now, even Ole has been in this job for a few years, we haven't got a clear way of playing. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know how we play. I don't know. If I had to pick, I'd say long ball. But other than that, I don't know how we play. Counter and long ball. But I don't know how we play. Yeah. I'm not sure. Did you see that thing that come out? That was it De Bruyne who said that Pep said to him, "We'll wait to see how they play," because they didn't even know how he was going to play. Did you see?
I seen that.
Yeah, that's 10-minute session.
Yeah,
10-minute training session.
He said because we don't know how United are going to play.
Yeah, I seen it myself.
They finished the training session during the game as well. It's just strolling around.
Yeah.
Awful to watch. what? I forgot about that. This international break has helped me to forget about things like that. And someone mentioned you mentioned the 5-0 earlier, Mais, and it just hurts. Every time it hurts. I forgot about
it. It hurt me saying it. My phone started burning, but thinking of them words.
Right, let's be positive. We've got Watford at the weekend. Surely this is a winnable game for us. Obviously, get in the chat and let us know your predictions as well. Your score predictions for this one. Zio, being as though you've just joined us, we haven't heard you talking much during this one. What's your thoughts on the Watford game? How are you feeling going into that one?
I feel like, oh God, does it matter? The way I feel is this is going to set the tone for what's about to happen. This is it now. It's going to be if we go out there and win convincingly, Ollie's probably going to go on a run. If we go out there and scrape it, it could be a lot more pain in the future. And if we lose, they'll probably sack him. That's what I think. This is it now. This is the final countdown.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, I think this is it. This is a big decider game. Whatever what United we see from in that Watford game is what we're going to see up until Ollie's sacked, or until they decide to keep it in because he's gone on an amazing run. I think what we see on this is it Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Saturday,
what we see on Saturday is what we've got. That is it. That is what our team's going to play like. That's the morale, everything. If Maguire and everyone's playing whack, that is it. It's not going to change any game after that between now and Ollie's gone. That is whatever we get is what we got. That's what I think. And I'm really, really scared of that.
Yeah. And we mentioned mentality of players and whatnot. There's no way we can go into this game complacent because, when United are in town, it's a cup final for most teams, isn't it? So Watford are going to be up for it. No two ways about it. International break. It's kind of a clean slate, isn't it? Start again. I'm just hoping that we can find our feet. And I think for us, it's important that we get a goal fairly early as well, trying to settle the nerves because there's a lot of pressure on us. There's a lot of pressure on the manager as well. I think if we get off to a dodgy start, the momentum will grow for Watford and they'll grow into the game. They're going to be quite a physical outfit as well. We know they're going to try and sit in. And I think if we're not at it and we're not playing between the lines and playing those risky passes, we start playing slowly, sideways football again, we'll get picked off. And I really do think there's no easy game in the Premier League. I know Watford is a game that we should be winning, but we can't be complacent going into a game like that because I do think that Watford will just pounce on that. And I think mentality is a big thing I worry about.
Can I say something I'm really worried about as well, why I think we might play very crap? I think the players have been away. The players have been away, international duty, getting some sort of coaching and training and around world-class coaches that they probably respect. And I'm a bit worried they're going to come back, get this dodgy coaching, get this bad atmosphere, this bad morale, and think, what is this? Like, I don't care about this. Do you get what I mean? And I'm a bit worried about that, especially with players like Pogba and Maguire. I feel like they're going to come back and just feel like, this doesn't feel like this holiday I was just on with England and France and stuff like, do you get what I mean? And I'm a bit worried about that, but we'll see.
Yeah. So, a few people here are saying a 3-1 win to Watford.
Jeez.
It scares me a bit. I've got to be honest, that scoreline scares me. Do you think we'll scrape? You said that if we lose, you think he'll be sacked and whatnot. Do you think we'll lose, though? Do you actually think we'll lose?
No.
You make me nervous. You know what? I was thinking, Premier League football's back. Before the show, I was excited, and now I'm reading all the comments and that, and I'm feeling like, I'm not. Don't know why I'm looking forward to it so much. I'll be calling for the next international break after Saturday. I'm just hoping that's not the case. Mais, what's your score prediction? How are you feeling about the Watford game?
You know what? When you do look at both the teams, and then if you was at the very beginning of the season, you'd be like, nah, Man United's winning this comfortably. We're going to win easily 5-0. But now, I can't even see it being a high-scoring game, if you want me to be honest, because it's like, when I've watched the last so many games, it felt like the attacking players just dried out, especially how he was playing with playing the 3 centre-backs and the 2 wing-backs. It just really dried up attack, and that was something what Manchester United was better at than defence. So for me, I'm going to go with 2-0 United. I'll never bet against United no matter what, so I'm going to go with the 2-0 United because I can't even see it being high scoring.
Maisie, we're not conceding.
It depends. That is no.
You know what? I love it though. I love the optimism. Maguire's keeping a clean sheet.
I'll stay with this 2-0. I'll stay with the 2-0.
Okay.
Stick with it. Don't let him change your mind, mate. You go with your instinct. You go with what you feel.
I almost forgot if we're playing Lindelof and Maguire together. I'm not too sure.
But yeah, oh boy, to be fair. 3-1 to Shivan. That's not a bad shape, to be fair. I think I'm going to go with a 3-1. I think I'll go with 3-1. You know what? Sorry, I'm going to say Harry Maguire to score.
Oh, get
Harry
off.
Maguire to score. Celebrate like this.
Get off.
Nah, he's going to turn and point to the back of his shirt like this. That's what he's going to do. He's going to score. Maguire's going to score. Ronaldo obviously score. And I'm going to go with... Who else is going to score? Rashford to score as well. Obviously, he hasn't played international break. I'm hoping he's fit and raring to go. And feeling refreshed as well. So yeah, that's mine. I'm going to go 3-1. I agree with you, Shivan. I do think we'll concede. But I'm just hoping that going forwards we do click. And like I said, the quality we've got on the pitch, we should not have any excuses regarding scoring goals. But with Ollie in charge, can we break them down? And I think it's going to be a really interesting one. I don't think we'll batter them. I think they'll probably have a few chances. We'll have to ride our luck a little bit. I'll probably rely on a bit of De Gea again, like we have done for a lot of this season yet again. But yeah, I'm just hoping that we've got enough quality to go forward. Lawbreaker said there, do you mean an own goal? Someone else yes, an own goal as well. I'm trying to pick him up here. I'm trying to be positive and optimistic, but it's hard. It's really hard. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for joining me again. It's been a great show as always. Zio, I appreciate you jumping in as well because I know you've been really, really busy. Mais, give your channel a shout out again. Let people know where they can find you in all socials.
Yep, my YouTube channel is Devils United. I do Manchester United football for men and women's football. You can find me on Twitter as well, which is at 2_ MUFC Mais.
MUFC Mais, make sure you go and check her out. And like you said there, Devils United on YouTube. Go and give her a subscribe. And of course, the talented Zio, like I said already, repping his hoodies. Go and check out his merch as well. I'm bigging it up because it's a quality hoodie. Raw. Do the little raw. Do it.
I can't do it now. You told me.
Go on.
I can't do it. Too much pressure.
But you want to spot there properly. Zio, let people know where they can find you and obviously let them know what kind of content you're putting out as well.
At no, not at. Yeah, Zio Leonardo on Instagram, Twitter, or whatever, YouTube. My YouTube's probably the best if you want to see me making songs with your names in and stuff like that. Yeah, that's about it. I'm depressed.
Yeah. What we will be doing as well, obviously, if you didn't listen to the previous one, Zio did a taking names, but he did it live, and obviously I was in the background as well. We did a United themed one. Well, it's more of a Premier League themed one. United obviously biased, and I did a lot of bantering towards Arsenal in that one. So that was obviously the start of the season when we signed Ronaldo and we were buzzing. We're going to win the league. We're going to be doing a mid-season one at some point. I'll arrange with Zio a date, and like I said, I think it'll be a different vibe to that first one. So if you are about, make sure you tune into that one. Very, very talented, and thank you both, amazing guests as always. Always great talking to you both, and hopefully we'll be smiling from the weekend when United get 3 points and a worldly performance. That would be nice, wouldn't it? And a Harry Maguire goal in the right end. I'm just going to add on there as well, in the right end. That would be nice too, but unlikely. But we'll see what happens. But guys, yeah, please, if you want to, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. If I have missed your comment in the chat, just drop it on afterwards, and I always double check, and I'll obviously catch up with them there. All that's left to say is enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll be back soon with more content, but until then, stay positive. Take care.